What is going on, everybody? This is Tyler Blair from New Limits Homes. I've been wholesaling for the better part of 3 years now. Started in Denver, Colorado, and now I am down here in St. Petersburg, Florida, living my life, not dealing with snow. I want to talk to you guys today about a topic called JVing. What does JV in wholesale actually even mean? If you're new to wholesaling, or you've been doing it for a while, but you haven't looked down this avenue of what JVing is, then you are gonna be delighted with this video because we're gonna go into what JVing actually is. So welcome. Now, I'm gonna read off the definition of a JV to you. A real estate joint venture is a strategic partnership between two or more parties who combine their resources and expertise to pursue a real estate project. JVs are commonly used in real estate because they allow parties to pool their capital, expertise, and experience to take on larger and more complex projects than they could undertake on their own. So you can joint venture in a bunch of different industries, right? You can joint venture on a business acquisition. You can joint venture on a flip even. With real estate wholesaling, joint venturing means that you're going into that project together. If you're JVing with somebody, it could either mean one or two things. And there's a couple of different scenarios as well. One, you found a deal, but you couldn't find a buyer. So you found somebody that has a larger buyer's list and you connected with them, they got it sold, you split the assignment fee. Congratulations, everybody makes money, you're putting food on somebody else's table. Life is good, right? The other scenario is you could be a dispositions wholesaler and you can have acquisitions wholesalers bring you properties so that you can bring them to your buyer's list. So you can focus on just finding buyers for properties. That could be your whole business model. Okay, so there's quite a few benefits to JVing. One, the riches are in the niches. You can build a machine, systems, processes that focuses solely on the acquisitions portion and talking to motivated sellers and sourcing deals. Or you could create a business model, systems and processes for outreaching to cash buyers or other investors in your area, right? And then you can lean on somebody else or some other organization that can help you facilitate every single one of those transactions. It's a win-win. Everybody makes money. The only con is you make less of an assignment fee. Typically, people are cutting the assignment fee right down the middle, but remember, everything is negotiable when it comes to real estate. So the first time I actually JV'd a property, it was out in Columbine, Colorado. Heck of a place to do it, but that's where I got it. The house was an older person's home. Somebody was living in the home and they were breeding Rottweilers. So there was, of course, animal feces all over the place. Me being new to Colorado, I didn't necessarily have a network of cash buyers to sell this property to. So I connected with my friends, Robbie and Randy over at Next Step Offers out in Denver. And they got it sold for me. It was sold fast and we went to close. I would not have been able to do it if I didn't understand what a JV actually was. Okay, so on one of the most recent JVs that I actually did, it was on a property in Lakeland, Florida. Okay, we got a really good deal with this. We sourced this from an agent, great agent to work with. Transaction was smooth. I found the property and I found two guys that actually had buyers in that area. We sold it to one of their buyers and the assignment fee was 34 grand split in between for all of us. So 34 grand split 3 ways. You do the math. It was quick, it was effortless, and they were great guys to work with. So there's different structures to JVs. You could find the deal and you could JV with a dispositions wholesaler, or you could find cash buyers and JV with acquisitions wholesalers that are finding the deals. You can also partner with people, let's say you didn't have enough money for EMD on the deal, which we're gonna create a page for you to go check out where you can submit your deal, and if the numbers make sense, we'll submit the EMD to the deal and get it across the finish line for you. So that's another way that you could do it. You could bring in another wholesaler that could provide you with the funds to go to get the property under contract. There's so many different structures for JVing, and basically what it means is you are working together to get this done. It's a partnership. So some of the reasons that people JV is so that they can either share the risk, access to capital, or they can actually, gain the expertise in order to do things by themselves. You could also JV on a deal with a buyer where you waive your assignment fee and you take equity in the actual property. So there's so many different ways that you can JV and so many different structures, but that's the definition and different structures of joint venturing or co-wholesaling in wholesale real estate. Some of the more common misconceptions of JVing are, let's say that you see somebody post a property on Facebook and you go and take that property and then you go send it to a list of 100 buyers that you got from some free lead gen source guru, right? That's not a joint venture. You actually, if you're not a licensed real estate agent, you probably shouldn't be sending out properties that you don't have equitable interest in, because it could I'm not a lawyer, but it could probably open you up for some sort of litigation. So that's not a JV, that's technically what we call daisy chaining. A lot of people think that's what joint venturing is, but it's not. You wanna make sure that you have permission to post out this deal and to market this deal, okay? So my boy Danny, he wanted to learn how to wholesale here in Tampa, Florida, and he connected with me. I showed him the systems, everything, basically we joint ventured in this business together. He's the acquisitions portion, I'm the dispositions and the tech side of everything. And whenever he did our acquisitions process, he actually got a property under contract. He JV'd with me to find a buyer, and we got that property sold in 2 hours. So pretty decent sized first deal for him. I'm pretty sure we made 15 grand on that together. So pretty good deal. There's a lot of big organizations out there that actually lean on JVing. So you got people like Net Worth Realty, New Western. They are trying to find deals from wholesalers that need buyers. They market towards large buyer lists with SEO and all their other marketing. They cold call as well, Facebook, and they try to get more buyers in. They're a buyer collecting source, right? So their business model actually is that they're a dispositions house, right? So they have acquisitions, wholesalers find properties, or new wholesalers find properties, bring it to them, and then they close on it, which is called a double close, and then they turn around and they sell that property to their investor. So setting yourself up for success in JVing, you kind of have to be aware of your intuition, right? Like you shouldn't just start sending out properties to anybody that says that they have a buyer, right? You're gonna be on Facebook pages, you're gonna be on other forums, and people are gonna say that they have buyers, but really they don't. They just want to market your deal and see if they can add 5, 10, 15K on top and see if they can make a quick buck. That hardly ever happens. You want to create really good relationships with people. You should only be JVing with people that you really have good relationships with, or you feel strongly about in a business sense. You should really trust your gut and trust your intuition, because it's really trying to tell you something. You want to make sure the people that you're JVing with, you share the same goals and you share the same expectations as them. So when it comes to legally binding, you want to make sure that you have a JV agreement with that person. You can have a JV agreement, but the way that I do it is a little bit more concrete. And what I do is I actually assign that property to that entity or wholesaler that I'm wholesaling with, and I cut the price right down the middle, or we sign a JV agreement specifying that we are splitting half and half the difference between the purchase price and the price that we're selling it to the buyer for. So when it comes to JV deals and wholesaling in general, things can just happen, right? I had one property where I tried to JV with somebody. We got earnest money in, we got to the day of closing, buyer was nowhere to be seen, and it was just not really good communication between all parties, because I was speaking as an acquisitions specialist. I was speaking to the agent and letting her know that we were not closing on closing day. So that was a very bad experience. You want to make sure that you have communication with these people and that it's streamlined, because communication is key. So you want to make sure that your agreements and everything with these people are clear. Speak about it on the phone, speak about it via text message. If you have terms with these people, it's always good to make sure that you have those terms in some form of text, right? whether it be email or text messaging. Make sure that everybody has clear expectations on what portions that they're actually handling as well, because you don't want people dipping into places where they don't belong. You want to make sure that you're having clear communications with the title company, who is the end buyer, who is the other assignee, who are you in the transaction. You want to make sure that everything is smooth. We've had some instances where title rep had no idea what was going on, and they CC'd absolutely every single person in the email thread, the buyers, all of the people who were assigning it, and it was kind of a mess, and yeah, it kind of sucked. So you want to avoid that. You want clear communication with every single party involved. That includes the title company, that includes the selling party as well, especially if there's an agent on the other end. You just want to let them know that, hey, I am putting this under one of my partners' LLCs. Everything's good to go. We got EMD in, we're past inspection, we're ready to close. We're just closing in this entity. So you want to make sure there's clear communication on all ends. Another thing is making sure you align these expectations so that nobody feels like they're doing more work than the other person. Because you know how humans are, they're gonna want more money, right? So you want to make sure all expectations are lined out. This is what I'm doing, this is what you're doing. Make it clear. You don't want anything close to closing where your acquisitions agent's like, well, I can only give you this for it now, right? You want a good relationship, you want expectations. So when you're looking for JV deals to bring to your cash buyers, you want to make sure that these things are fitting your criteria. You want to make sure that if they're assigning it over to you and they're giving you an inspection period, that you keep the inspection periods down to a minimum. You really want to make sure that you have somebody that you can sell this deal to, because the worst thing is locking a property and not being able to move it. When you're trying to source deals, make sure you're finding things that you actually have buyers for. And if you're on the acquisition side, you want to make sure that you're vetting these people that you're JVing with. Make sure that they actually have cash buyers and they are who they say they are as well. Now, you can always come down to different terms on the assignment contract, right? You can split it 60-40. You can give $100 to somebody. You can refer it to give them a referral fee. There's so many different ways that you can do it. But most of the time, people are going to split it right down the middle. 50-50 goes to you. I found a buyer, you found the deal. Let's split it down the middle. That always seems fair for me. Now, there's some deals where your JV partner can just have better resources than you. You know, we've had deals before where our JV partners actually had better lawyers, had access to better data than us, and it really helped us facilitate and move that deal along. Now you ask, how is the best way to find these people? There's so many different ways that you can find these people that you can JV with. You can find them at investor meetups, REIs. You could go to open houses and see local real estate agents and stuff like that. Just get active. Go out, be in the community, get into Facebook groups, post your stuff in there, ask questions, connect with people, right? DM people, hop in their DMs, call them, cold calling people. There's so many different ways. The best way for us is we like leveraging technology, and we go through Facebook groups and we connect with people like that, right? So we have the people in the Facebook group exported into a sheet where we go and we communicate with people and see if they're wholesaling in our market or what kind of business they're doing in our market and how we can add value to each other's businesses. The real estate industry is fast, so you want to make sure that the people that you're JVing with have great communication, right? It's fast moving. You don't want to lose out on opportunities because people take too long to respond to you. So when it comes to finding JV partners, technology is definitely your friend. You can find influencers that attract a ton of wholesalers to them. Go through their network, go through their community, connect with those people, engage with them, become parts of these communities, right? Technology is definitely going to be your friend. And I'm sure with the advancements in AI, there are ways that you can automate this process as well. So JVing is not just for single family homes. You can joint venture on commercial properties as well as land. You can joint venture on land opportunities as well. There's so many different ways that you can implement this into your strategies and into your business so that you can grow and you can scale. But that's what JVing and wholesaling is. It's a partnership. It's co-wholesaling. It's making friends and making money with people and solving people's issues together, right? So we talked about how you can find these people, how you can leverage technology to find these people and find these relationships, what you should avoid, right? What you should do. Maybe we should create a step-by-step checklist so that you know exactly what to do when it comes to JVing. We talked about assignment contracts. We've talked about joint venture agreements. We've talked about a lot in this. We talked about a lot in this video. So if you find it helpful, please like, subscribe to the channel, New Limits Homes. We're here to help you succeed. And if you have any deals here or wholesaling here in Tampa, Florida area, Central Florida, I would love to connect with you. Tyler Blair, it's Tyler Blair on Instagram. Send me your deals. I either want to buy them myself or I can help you find a buyer. I've been wholesaling here for a little while and I've been investing here for a little while. So take it easy, like, subscribe, more real estate content coming soon. Later.